2, 1. What is going on? Welcome to the official TBPL Podcast. This is episode 2. We got Landon. How you doing, bro?
Hola.
How
It's an honor to be on this show.
how's the team going?
It's going all right. I have no idea what happened with Rios and Peach tonight, but both of them, they shut their mouths.
Ooh, some drama. We got some
Yeah.
drama already, bro. Crazy. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and ask you some questions. We could just talk about whatever.
Okay.
What are your expectations for this season? Like for your team specifically?
My team specifically,
Yes.
expectations. Well, I mean, it's a great question because, I expect to win the World Series, but also, there is other expectations to just do what we can. League success doesn't necessarily mean or team success doesn't necessarily mean league success. We could all be like MVP candidates, but yet in the end we still don't win the World Series. And I'd be fine with that if we had like 3 MVP candidate players and we did well as a team, but we just couldn't pull it off. So my expectations, to keep it short, are just I just want my team to be active, follow the crew way, and play to their best abilities and hope. And obviously, we expect to win the World Series, but if that doesn't happen, then I'm not upset at them for not doing that.
Okay. So, your main goal, correct me if I'm wrong, please. Your main goal this season, at least, the World Series is not your top priority. Your main goal this season is to create team chemistry and have a team that, you know, scrambles together pretty well.
Kind of. I mean, the World Series is definitely still a high priority on my list because obviously I'd love to go back to back. But I would really like to implement the crew way just a little more this season and kind of get players to start following some of the some last season. Some of the players, they followed one main rule, and that was expect and not hope and shit like that. Like every time we played a game, they'd be like, "We got to expect to win." Like that was something I got them on. But I kind of want them to be more on other things too, kind of some of the broader topics that are mentioned in the pamphlet.
Okay. Okay. That's fair. Speaking of expectations, so as of right now, between you and the Gamblers, there's a very crazy rivalry going on, or at least what it seems to be, right? How do you
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
about it? How do you feel about the rivalry? Like, how do I say this? I wouldn't say what are your expectations for the rivalry, but how do you feel about it? Like, how do you feel about the clash between the Pirates and the Gamblers?
I like competition. I mean, I remember a lot of people last season, they were kind of comparing oh, it's going to be like Reapers and Mustangs, or Reapers and Rage or something with the World Series. Like people thought that was the rivalry.
So you think it's gonna be
But
something like that?
I don't think it's going to be something like that. I mean, we only play each other once in the season, and we will probably face off against each other sometime in the playoffs. But I like competition, right?
Yeah.
And I kind of just want to prove Ish wrong for a second time in a row.
So
So I can prove
specifically, Ish.
Yeah, because he's, man,
During our
Ish,
interview,
he's
he did not like you
tough.
that much.
I know. He doesn't like me, and I told him that I traded him for something bigger than just a season long trade. It wasn't just to be better for one season. It was to hopefully be better for multiple seasons. But obviously, since Damien didn't come back, that wasn't the case. But it would still feel nice for him to talk all this crap about how bad the crew way is and how much of a non-caring GM I am, which is completely far from the truth. I made the trade because, in my opinion and some of his teammates' opinions, it was the best move. I asked Pope before we made the trade. I said, "Hey Pope, should we make this trade? We get Damien, who's also probably going to be like an MVP type candidate, and we get Jake, who, from what I've heard, isn't technically that bad. Yes, we get rid of Ish, who is an upcoming prospect, but at the time, he wasn't peak. He was still kind of like he was an
He was
all-star
still
50 years.
upcoming.
He was still upcoming, yes.
Okay.
I wanted to trade for somebody more solidified in the league,
Okay.
and when I did so because he's so young, he's not really matured yet as a person. That he took it the wrong way, and now he kind of hates the organization forever. I even DM'd him during free agency. I said, "Hey man, you know, if Josh doesn't make a big move, I would love for you to come sign back. I'd love for you to come back. You know, like obviously you're really good. You won MVP, that kind of thing." And I'm not gonna be this type of GM who's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna make up assumptions about him saying, yeah, he probably hates me, even though I knew he hated me, but I was still gonna offer him because, like, I don't have anything, I don't have anything against Ish. Like, I didn't trade him because I didn't like him. I liked him. He was a great person. He was kind of like Peach. If I can relate, he is literally Peach before Peach, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
He was into the crew way. He like was really hyped with his teammates. He liked to talk with people, that kind of thing. And he was solid at the game. But the moment I traded him, his entire mindset towards me just completely changed. And I get that because like if you're playing for a good team and you like the team and you like the owners and you like your teammates and stuff, it could be kind of hard getting traded to a team who wasn't as good skill wise, but they still made it to the World Series, kind of thing.
Okay.
Um, but that trade that we made ended up proving to be worth it when Damian beat Ish in the World Series, giving us one of the wins.
That's
So,
true.
so
Okay.
but
So, sorry for cutting you off. What I got from that is you think, correct me if I'm wrong, again, please. You think Ish is overreacting when it comes to this whole entire quote unquote rivalry between you and the Gamblers, and just in general, his hate for you, quote unquote.
I,
You think that's an overreaction?
I think I don't know if it's an over. I think he's not overreacting the rivalry. He's overreacting about the trade. Like the rivalry is obviously here. We
Okay.
have Geraldo, I'm gonna kind of say it, but it's probably 90% sure that the Pirates are drafting Geraldo at
Okay,
number
that,
one
that
in the
is
draft.
actually one of our questions. I'll go ahead and ask you it now since you're on this topic. You have the number one overall pick of the draft. That was a very smart trade, if I will
Yep.
say. That was great. I don't. Matt definitely learned his lesson from that trade, but that was definitely a really good trade on your part. There's the
Hmm.
big three. There's Toasted, there's Breezy, and there's Geraldo. Who do
Yep.
you plan on drafting? And
I'm gonna give
it's
you
one
pros and cons.
it's one of those things. Before you say anything, it's one of those things where, at this point, it really doesn't matter because nobody can take anything before you.
Exactly. I've thought that myself. Actually, with some of the players that I've had team meetings with, I don't know if you've looked at our the player chat in the Pirates Discord, but I just say, hey, we need to have kind of like a little meeting thing. And I basically, at first, it was toasted, like
Okay.
ruined. It was about to end. We were all like on a phone call together, waiting for Toasted to not sign anywhere. And then once that clock struck, we were like, let's go. We got Toasted, right? And at this time, Breezy was still a GM, and Geraldo had no plans of returning. So Toasted was originally the only person to kind of be there, the good
Yeah.
player. And then I messaged Toasted like right after. No response for a couple days. I kind of start spamming him because I'm kind of getting scared and worried that like, what if he just disappeared off the face of the
That's
earth,
pretty
which he
much what he
did.
did.
And then he finally responded. I was like, oh, thank God, now we can draft him. But then after this point, Breezy he like completely flipped out as a GM, got fired, came back as a player, and
Uh,
he's
I wouldn't
he's a
say he got
solid.
fired. I would say he
Okay,
quit. He more quit than he got fired.
okay. So he got he quit as a GM and like became a player. And then recently, Geraldo came out as a player. And fun fact, Breezy DM'd me saying all this stuff about like a conversation between you and Darkseid or something, saying like how Geraldo's in the draft and you guys think he is or something. I don't remember. He just sent me a couple snippets of messages between you two,
Okay.
or you. And basically, if I'm gonna give some pros and cons now, because we got the story between how all of them came into the draft.
Oh boy.
So now we're gonna go into some pros and cons.
Let's hear it, bro.
Toasted. We'll start off with Toasted since he's kind of the OG. Pros. He won MVP last season. I mean, pretty much almost all of them almost won MVP
I,
last
I
season.
think I can honestly. I don't mean to cut you off. I think I could honestly give you a pros and cons list like real quick, and you can let me know if you agree with it or not. In my
Okay.
opinion, I think in terms of overall player, like just the player itself, not just like one aspect compared to the other, I think Breezy is a godsend when it comes to hitting. I mean, I think, in my personal opinion, he got absolutely cucked last season. I think when he played against Jake, his ping was crazy, and the pitches were coming in. Did you see the video?
No, I did not see the
So in
video.
the video, I wonder if Darkseid has it. I'll have to ask him for it after we're done here. But during that, uh, the fastball was moving in. It looked like it was on low difficulty, but on steroids, dude. It was so fast. It was just one of those things where it was like, how do you catch up to that? And I felt bad for him because I couldn't really do anything about it, you know? Because it's not one of those things that's like in our rule book.
That's like a game. That's like a game problem.
Yeah, it was just like nothing because they tried restarting and but just couldn't do anything. It felt so bad. So I think in terms of MVP voting, I feel like if Breezy got a fair shot at Jake, I feel like he would have won. I think in terms of
Yeah.
being an overall player, I think Breezy is a solid pick easily. I think in terms of hitting wise, I think Toasted is, I wouldn't say superior to Breezy. I think they're both about the same. Now that being said, they're fucking nuts. They're like crazy, right? They are
Hmm.
both really good hitters. But the problem with Toasted, respectfully, I think his pitching needs work, and even he's admitted that to me. During our season, he had some problem with pitching, and I tried helping him. It didn't go as well. I can't really coach when it comes to a VR baseball game, but that's what we worked on, and it was great. And then basically, Toasted's just an extremely good hitter. I think
Hmm.
overall, like as an overall player, I think Gerardo takes the cake. I think his
Yeah,
pitching
he's
is
the
nuts,
best
and I
pitcher.
think his
He came
hitting is
Cy.
nuts.
He came pretty high, and I think he won Cy
He
Young,
won
didn't
Cy
he?
Young, yeah, he did, and he got second place MVP. Arguably should have won MVP.
I think I'm gonna go. So not to, like okay, yeah, I see the pros and cons, right? Um, One thing that scares me about Toasted is his like inactivity as long if he's not on the Reapers kind of thing.
Okay,
I do think somebody will take him though, unless you trade up. But the thing is, with the second and third picks in the draft, Darkseid traded up for that pick. I don't think he's gonna trade back down for that
yeah,
pick.
I don't think so. I think
And
personally,
I
here's here.
think
Here,
Pope,
sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and I think Pope is sticking at 300%
Yeah,
too. Unless you give him like a deal, he can't resist.
here is you don't have to say anything if you don't want. You can keep it completely classified. Here's how I think this draft is gonna go, and I talked about this with Damien as well in terms of the draft. I think the draft is gonna go Geraldo, Breezy, and Toasted. I think that's personally how it's gonna go because Breezy has he's had experience with the Rage, right? Because he played with them all year last season, and I think him
Yeah, I
and
could
Dark
see
have a
that.
good connection. I think that's how the top three is gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like 90% sure I'm gonna take Geraldo because mainly like Breezy, when me and him had some conversations, because obviously I want to talk to these players before I draft them, you
Of
know.
course, yeah.
I was talking to Breezy and it kind of seemed like he wanted me not to draft him. I don't think he even wants to be on the Pirates very much because like I was like, hey, like what's good and shit.
It's the crew way,
And
bro.
he
It scares him.
And then nah, he was like, bro, I'm so washed. You should not draft me, and like saying all how bad he is now. And I was like, I think I might draft you. I was just messing with him. I was like, hey, I'm probably still gonna draft you at number one because you're active and stuff. He got kind of. He's like, no, do not do it. I swear.
You scared, bro. You scared him.
But anyways, I was talking to Geraldo. I kind of had a little rookie interview, not like a voice chat like this, but
Just
his
like
messages.
a couple questions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I asked him, I guess this is kind of like sharing that interview we had. I told him what is his thoughts about like the Pirates organization as a whole, kind of like the players and stuff. And I mean, he said, quote unquote, I mean, they're past world champions, can't beat the team management. They have a strong base to keep building off of. I feel like if anything, I can add to the powerhouse that are the Pirates. Pij and Ritos are some upcoming players who I'd be glad to share a locker room with and look out for the repeat champions. And
Damn,
then
sounds like you guys already got this shit locked down.
I mean, yeah, kind of. And then I asked him, okay, let's talk about the most controversial thing with the organization,
Oh
the
boy.
crew way.
Oh boy.
What is your opinion on that specifically? Are you a fan or are you a hater? And he said, "What's the crew way?"
Oh no, dude. No.
And I said it's a system we got in place, the stuff that people call a cult within our organization. And Toasted said, I've always wanted my own cult, so I'm down with the crew. But I mean, yeah, honestly, Geraldo does have a couple weaknesses. I
Does
mean,
he?
everybody has
What do
weakness.
you? Okay, this is actually kind of crazy because a lot of people do not think he has weaknesses. What do you think his weaknesses are?
We know his weaknesses because Damien. I'm not telling you. I can't tell him now because probably gonna be on my team next season. But
You act like
Damien.
I'm gonna be competitive this season.
Okay, I know that, but people might watch this. You never know.
That's true. That is
But
true.
Damien, last season we played Geraldo. We played Geraldo around 3 to 4 times. Like I think a lot of like between the whole team as a whole, and we found out what he like. I don't know. It's kind of hard to say without like what he's not good at. And we kind of did that as much as we could, and it got like it worked because he never adjusted to what we were doing, and
Okay.
he lost a lot of games to our players specifically. Damien beating him in a tournament like 23-9.
Jesus.
uh, Me and Geraldo playing our World Series, or no,
Playoff game.
it was our playoff game. Yeah, it was 0-0 in the top. I was the home team. It was 0-0 in the top of the third inning with 2 outs, and it was 0-0, and he was up to bat. And I promise you, if I didn't throw some dumbass pitch right down the middle, he would have not scored 10 runs. If I could have got that third out, man, I told you I might have won that game.
Okay.
I might have beat Geraldo that game.
So
But the thing
okay.
was, we think we kind of figured out how to hold him, because if I can hold him to 0 runs in almost 3 innings, then we kind of know what's going on.
That's kind of awkward to say when you're about to fucking draft him. But yeah, Geraldo. With my experience, for anybody watching, not wanting to know, I guess the weaknesses that, or sorry, that want to know some weaknesses of Geraldo. I don't really know if this is on par with you guys have found, quote unquote. But personally, so I used to play Geraldo a lot, and it was kind of like shits and giggles. I lost every
Mhm.
game. I got close to beating him one time. He walked it off, and I was really pissed. But um, what I found out, so when he pitches, right, he does not, at least for what we play. This is like a month ago, so bear with me. He did not throw a lot of fast pitches. He likes to throw slow pitches. At least, like I said, for when we played, likes to throw slow pitches. And one of the things he struggled on was a specific. As long as you can make, you have to have a slow pitch. That's like one of the rules in the league, in my opinion. You have to have a slow pitch. One of the things that he struggled with was if you throw him a fast pitch, not right down the middle because he's gonna hit that as a home run. But if you throw a fast pitch and you got it by him, he's gonna sit on that. He always sits on a fast pitch. And then if you throw him the off speed, I always throw my off speed like down left, like down and away for righties, because there's not that many lefties in the league, right? I always threw it bottom left, and he always, I wouldn't say always, because sometimes he hit it and took it deep, but depending on where it went, he would miss it. I've struck him out Dorado, I think like 2 times, which
Okay, fuck it. You know what? I'm gonna reveal it
oh,
because we're gonna work on it, and we're gonna make sure that he doesn't have these weaknesses anymore.
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Back a while ago,
Let's hear Giraudio's
um, me
weakness.
and Geraldo were playing, right? I was kind of trying to see like I was trying to talk to him about free agency
Okay.
and see if he wanted to sign here, kind of thing. So it was kind of not like a serious game, right? But I could not hit his curveballs for shit, dude. Like I was fucking up everything. And he said, "Bro, hold on." And he stopped the fucking game
It taught
midway
you how to
through.
pitch.
No, he taught me how to hit, okay?
Uh huh.
And he says, "Do what I do." I stand in the very back corner and I hold the bat right next to my fucking hips and I just swing my hips. And since he's so far back in the box, his back and his hand is attached to his hips. His bat can't reach the outside corner of the plate. So that's why he misses the ball almost every time when you throw it outside.
So that makes perfect sense. That does line up. Okay, that's good to know. I kind of figured that because he told me like we were in a game, and this is when I was struggling to hit, and I like got my second win during the old MLTB days. God, it feels weird saying the old MLTB days, but during that he was like, "Yeah, I just normally stay in the back. I don't really swing like a normal person. I just kind of stay at the hips and I just go there, like basically." just launch my hips into the ball. I was like, okay. So, but basically, I mean, you said you guys are gonna work on it. Geraldo is he's an interesting individual. I think Geraldo might be one of the most versatile players in the league.
Yeah.
All right, next question. We still got a ton to go. We had a long conversation with that. Um,
Okay.
so let's rewind back a little bit, right?
Okay.
Let's go back to the Gamblers Pirates rivalry. Who do you
Yep.
think's gonna end up on top? Do you think it's gonna be you, or do you think it's gonna be the Gamblers?
I expect it to
Assuming that you
be.
get Geraldo, and assuming that they get Toasted or Breezy.
I expect it to be the Pirates.
Okay. Is there like a
Um,
key reason, or
I think that after the draft, the Pirates will be more of a balanced team than the Gamblers. Um,
so are you banking on? Do you think Peach and Ritos can beat Ish and Damien?
no.
Okay.
I think if I put Ritos against Ish, Ish will win. And I think if I put Peach against Damien, I think Peach has a solid chance of beating
Well,
Damien.
there's a problem with that because Geraldo. Okay, if that's being okay, that being said, getting Geraldo here might be the smart choice for you because Geraldo has a known history for smacking Toasted, respectfully Toasted. I love you, Toasted, but
Sure.
I'm just saying, if just getting Geraldo alone, I'm gonna give you some advice because I've seen this happen. I saw this happen last season. I'm not gonna say with who, but I saw this last season. Having one good player. I'm not saying Peach and Ritos are not good players. I think Peach is definitely an underrated player, and we'll talk about that later. Underrated players. Uh, I think having Geraldo, you should probably think about having something up your sleeve.
I do.
Because if good. Geraldo by himself cannot carry a team to victory, and we kind of saw
I
that last year with the Mustangs. Because even though he beat you, everybody else beat everybody else. Now Crew did a good job against Damien, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I would just make sure that you have a backup plan. Because
So
if
here's
you don't do anything, you will lose.
yeah.
I'm gonna keep it 150 with you, bro. You will lose 100%. And you know, I respect Pope because Pope is a great GM and he's a good guy. We were teammates. Uh, we were talking about co-owning a team before I actually gave him his own team, and he is a smart motherfucker, very smart.
hmm
If you do not watch out, he will take your crown from you, and I am being serious because that will happen if you do not watch out. Speak.
Listen,
I know.
here
Let's hear
I'm
it.
gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna say this now, and I'm gonna say this now. So the goal of this season, obviously, would be to win the World Series as well.
Okay.
But it's also to transform some guys who are maybe like some people right now, as they see, because I fully believe in Peach more than like anybody else.
Yeah. No. What do you call
People
it?
think he's a game two, game three guy. I think he could play game one players.
Okay.
I think he just needs to get to that point where he needs to have a regular season to prove it. Because last season, he only proved it in the postseason. He lost against JC in the regular season. That kind of ruined his reputation. Almost made me cut him, actually. Fun fact, I almost cut him after that game because JC was not very good at the
That's a real
time.
confidence booster.
And seriously, going into, I think, the series against the Mustangs, I had no intention on re-signing Peach. I was going to straight up just let him go.
Wow. What made you change
And
your mind?
out of nowhere, man, just pops off, beating some kids like 28-0, fucking playing Geraldo, beating Ish in like scrim games like 24-22 and shit.
So you
And
regained your confidence for him.
I never had confidence to begin with
Okay,
him.
but you got some confidence in Peach, and that made you give him a second chance.
Yes,
Okay.
I fully believe because Damien was a real like Peach fan. He was like, bro, this man's actually really good now. And to be honest, in the very beginning, I don't even think I signed Peach because I thought he was good. I think I signed him because I needed like a free agent to fill in the spot. I think that's the exact reason why Peach was signed in the first place. And it's kind of just it seems like the crew way is just happening, but
Oh
it
boy.
just seems like a lot of these people who I just take random chances on and might even just be accidentally become stars. Example, Ish in the fourth round of the draft. I took him in the fourth round when like everyone thought all the good players were gone.
Wow,
Next thing
that's
you know,
crazy. It's crazy to think that.
man's
It's crazy to think that Ish was a fourth rounder.
you know who's what's even crazier?
What?
New Mexico Mustangs player crew was in
Oh,
the fifth.
dude. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here is the thing with the Mustangs.
They
They
were all
auto
automatic.
drafted their team and they almost won a World Series. I'm gonna say this now. I'm being dead ass straight with you. Crew was 100%, and I still think he is one of the most underrated players of the league, easily.
Mhm.
Everybody contradicts him, dude. Everybody thinks he's not that good,
I
dude.
think he's
He's crazy, and you know what else is crazy? I was talking to Gavin about him because I wanted to make a trade for him because
same.
I knew Crew was amazing. I knew Crew was
I was,
amazing.
I was
Gavin
talking to him
called
about
him
that.
mid. Gavin called him mid. Is that's crazy, dude?
That is pretty
I
crazy.
don't know.
I
Like,
actually, since the season's over, I can tell you about this story. Um, I think about right when the playoffs started, I started talking to Crew heavily. I think you know this,
I
but
did
I don't
too.
think the this. But I talked to him heavily. I fucking play him like 5 games a day in totally
You
baseball.
told me about the story. You played him a lot. He's like you guys got pretty close, and then he just kind of ghosted you.
And then he ghosted me
That's pretty
because
funny. That's
because
an L right there, bro.
Darkseid's a liar. Darkseid lied and said he'd rather have Crew over Geraldo, and then that's what made him ghost me. And then he didn't even sign back with the Rage. He didn't even sign with the Rage. He signed back with the Mustangs.
Yeah.
So that made me sad.
Yeah.
But
All right. Let's. This is the final. I'm pretty sure. Let me check. This is the final gambler's question because you're probably sick and tired of this whole entire rivalry. It is
I like
honestly. I
him.
think this is probably the most.
Rivalry we've had.
Yes, I agree. I think this is the biggest rivalry we've had like ever, at least so far in the TBPL.
Yeah.
How do you feel about everyone on on their org yourself, like individually? So let's see. There's Tret,
You
there's
know.
Damien, there's Ish, and there's Pope. How do you feel about all of those
So
people?
let's start with the weakest link in the like in the chain. You know, like in the team. That's Tret.
Tret's
We
not
all
even
know
that
that
bad. Tret's pretty
he's
good.
not that bad. He's not that bad. Fun fact, me and him talked for a couple weeks too, and there was a rumor that I was gonna sign him, right? But at the time, I signed Peach, and then I signed Enzo in the first night of draft, and I still had that offer for Damien, right? So Tret was like, "Hey, bro, you gonna sign me?" And at this time, he had an arm injury. He still probably does, I think. And I couldn't sign him, potentially knowing if Damien was going to sign with me, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there was always that chance he could have signed with me, and I wasn't going to take my offer away until I was 100% sure that he wasn't signing with me.
Okay.
And then after that, I think we traded Enzo and we got JC. And Fred got kind of fed up. He said, "Hey, bro, if you don't sign me by tonight, I'm signing with somebody else." Said, "Okay." And this is kind of the same story with Canes and Little Hollow as well.
Yeah, I kind of felt
Um,
bad because I saw that you were I think you talked to me about this. You were basically like, hey, you guys. I know we had a great season. It was like something like this, right? You can correct me if I'm wrong. It was like, hey, we had a great season, but honestly, I'm trying to like grab these guys instead of you. But if it all goes through, it all like doesn't go through, I'll let you guys know and I'll sign you guys. But they kind of like dipped. They kind of signed. I think
yeah, and I mean,
they
I don't have
Hollow signed with the Rage and Kane signed with the Golas.
surprise. Yeah,
So I
I
mean,
have no, I have like nothing. Like, I mean, I like Canes and Hollows still. Like, even though they're not on my team, you know. I mean, and I didn't get Damien. I mean, I'm glad they're moving on to different things, you know.
yeah.
Um,
Can I keep it real with you?
yeah.
In my opinion, okay, just bear with me, okay. In my opinion, I think you, like I said, bear with me because this is really controversial. I think you had an L off season signing. I don't think. Okay, don't get me wrong. I think Peach and I don't know about Ritos. I know Peach is good. I'm not sure about Ritos. We're not sure yet. I think you could have. I think
Listen,
if you signed one more person that was good. So, aka, Lil Hollow, maybe Tret, somebody. If you signed somebody, you would have had a decent, in my opinion, a decent free agency signing season or off season.
Listen,
I,
I'm gonna explain my reasonings on my free agency right here.
let's hear it.
Lil Hollow retired for a whole season and wants to come back, right? I know that it's kind of hard to like after not playing for so long, especially I know what this game does to people, man. If you don't play this game for like a week, you're fucking ass. I've seen that in Toasted. I mean, it was probably just a knockoff game, but when Toasted came back, Peach played him. He won like 17-4 against Toasted.
What
Could
happened?
not.
Everybody has off games, bro.
That is true. That is
You
true.
got to real
I
okay. And this is the thing with Hunter too. I think Hunter is a really good player when he's like playing on point, and that he used to, and during the MLTB, I absolutely hated playing him. He was so annoying. I don't know what it was, but he was good, right? I think personally, like I said, I think if you signed one more person, it would set you up more to go against the Gamblers because I don't think you did enough. Personally, I don't think you did. And actually, I'll go ahead and hold on. Let me finish real quick. I'll go ahead and ask you this question because I think if depending on this answer, it sets up what I think would be a good idea. Do you plan on returning as a player this season?
Yes, I do. I plan on probably my seventh round or my seventh person on the roster. Probably just gonna be some nobody. So probably wait till like or week 3 and then cut him back.
All right,
That thing.
that's fair. Okay, that's good. That is good because I wanted to just know because I feel like I'm not saying you're washed. Don't get that from me. But I definitely you're definitely not as good as you used to be. We both know that. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I know.
If you do make that comeback, and you do become, I'm not saying become amazing. I think if you become great again, you will have a way better shot of beating the Gamblers. I'm just saying, if you don't do this for yourself and your own team, you are not going to beat the Gamblers. I think the Gamblers have 2 MVP. I would argue that Damian is an MVP player easily. I'd easily argue that. They are going to have 3 MVP caliber players on their team versus your one. And if you become a good and you actually start playing again, you'd have 2. 2 against 3 is way better than 1 against 3 because
I personally think we have 2 right now.
You will get smacked if you do not activate yourself. And I'm just saying, I'm not trying to side on the Gambler side, but it will happen if you don't do anything.
I know. I can see your side. I'm gonna say I think we have 2 right now. I think Peach is an MVP type player.
We'll see.
Might be a hot take, but listen, the reason why I took these guys is based on their potential. Okay, JC Peach, he's just on his come up. Has high potential. He's been some of the most proven players in games.
Didn't you sign JC?
I did. I traded for JC. I signed. Okay, so the thing with JC is what I did was I traded Enzo for any kind of the highest first round pick I could get, which surprisingly it was the first pick in the draft.
Okay.
Because I knew that I can get JC because I was gonna sign him, right? Right. Well, actually, what happened was JC wanted to come here, and he was on the Parrots, and so basically he had him get cut from the. I told him to get cut.
Is he on the team?
He is on the team, yes.
Okay. I think that okay. I didn't know that. I will admit I did not know that. I think personally, JC is also pretty underrated. I'm not sure about Peach 100%. I'll keep it real with you. I think Peach is an ish type player. Now, when I say ish type player, I mean they figure it out, and once they figure it out, they start rolling. I think Peach can be. I think Peach. I know that. I'm just saying, Ish did it really quickly. When I say Ish type player, I mean somebody that picks up the game, figures it out quickly, and then instantly starts rolling. I would argue that I was one of those players.
If that's your definition of an Ish type player, I think I have another Ish type player on the team in Ritos. Mans started playing the game 14 days ago from today.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll talk about rookies, and we'll talk about that here in a bit. But I think JC, if you have JC, you have Ritos, which we'll see how Ritos and Peach do. If you have those players, you sign yourself, and you have Geraldo, I think it'll be way closer than if you didn't activate yourself. I'm just saying this now, and I know
I
I've said
can't.
this a billion times before, you will lose if you don't if you sleep. If you sleep on the gamblers and act like that everything's all good, everything's fine, you will lose. I'm just saying.
I know.
Okay.
Get it.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
Here's
Cool.
here's my thing. Balanced is probably going to be insanely important. I mean, at least for those game 4, game 5 type things, balance is going to come into like key right now. So, personally, I think we're going to do a great job developing JC to the point where he can beat. I think JC, by the time we play the Gamblers, which is week 6, I don't know if they know that yet. I don't think they do. But I think by that time, JC will be able to beat guys like Fred and Little Hollow, but he won't be to that point where he's as good as like, let's say, like Damien and Geraldo and Breezy and Toasted and Peach like that.
Okay.
I think Ritos will also kind of be similar to JC. So kind of like a solid game 2 for another team type player. I think both of them will be around there. Peach, I think he can play game 1 against players. I mean, shoot, he's beaten Peach a couple times. He's beaten Damien a couple times. He's beaten Toasted on his off day. I don't know if you can really count that, but he's beaten players who are supposed to be the best of the game, and like people still kind of like underrate him, which I get. You know, I don't care if they underrate him. That doesn't really matter.
I
I'm
mean,
not
it
looking for
doesn't. Yeah,
wins.
it doesn't matter for you. It just matters, or it doesn't really matter for them. It just kind of matters
So
that he
here,
performs.
here's kind of my projected lineup if we were to go against the Gamblers.
Okay. So hold
It
on.
would be
Let's hold on real quick. Real quick. Let's assume, real quick, that the gamblers get toasted, right?
okay.
Let's assume they get toasted, and let's assume that you get Geraldo. Well, you probably are gonna get Geraldo, probably,
I am
right?
getting
Okay.
like
So let's assume they have it's Geraldo, Peach, JC, and Ritos versus Damien. I guess we could let's just pretend Pope is playing, right? Pope,
okay.
Damien, Ish, and Toasted.
Why would we assume that Pope's playing?
Just assume because they don't have a fourth player.
Okay. Well, yeah. Wait, no. What? Yeah, it would be Damien Ish,
Toasted.
Tret, and
Oh, I forgot.
Toasted.
I forgot about Trent. No, I'm sorry. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me do that again. Okay, okay. Geraldo, Peach, JC, Ritos versus Toasted, Ish, Damien, Tret. Who do you?
Okay.
Okay, just be dead honest. Don't worry about lineups. Just pretend it's
Yep.
the best versus the best. Who do you think wins
Okay.
that? Just be honest. Just say it. Just no. Don't explain why. Just say your answer.
Mhm.
Who
What do you
wins?
think? Okay. Well, that is a big like question. I feel
We'll
like
do Geraldo versus Toasted because I feel like people would rather
okay.
see that lineup. We'll do.
Okay.
Let's see. Who would you rather have against? Who do you think your best player is? Be honest.
Geraldo.
No, not Geraldo because Geraldo's going against Toasted. Who do you think's your second best? Peach.
Yeah, no doubt.
We'll put Pete. Let's say on paper Ish is the better player than Damien. It'll be
Yep.
Peach versus Ish, and then what? JC versus Damien.
Yeah, and then
And
Ritos versus.
Ritos versus
Tret.
Tret. So
Mhm.
Ritos versus Tret could go both ways. I'm just saying that now.
Yep. I think Peach and Ish could go both ways too.
I
That might be a
guess.
hot take.
I think yeah, because there's a history, right? So I think those are
Yeah.
both. But I think in my opinion, Damien is going to roll JC and Gerardo
Yep.
is going to roll Toasted.
So it's a pretty close matchup.
It is a close matchup, but I still think Gerardo he's done it before. He's rolled them every single time he's came across them. I think Toasted out of like the 10 times they've played because they've played in the tournament a lot. I think Gerardo has only lost one time to Toasted. And Damien is unstoppable. I think Damien is not going to lose a single game this upcoming season. I'm going to be honest with you.
Okay.
Like I said, even with the players you have, even if Peach beats Ish, which is definitely a possibility, but what if he doesn't? That's what I'm saying. You cannot depend on your seconds and thirds and fourths. Or not seconds, sorry. You can't depend on your thirds, fourths, and fifths to win your games. If you have a shitty 1-2, you are not going to win games. You're not going to win
Okay.
series.
Listen. Okay. We saw this exact thing with the Mustangs. They had nobody except a 1 and a 2. And
But
guess
you
what?
gotta realize
They lost.
this is different because that was 1-2-3. You did not have to have that.
No, that was
you
2,
don't-
3, 4, 5.
No, because those were their
That
benches.
was-
And to be fair, it wasn't their fault. Honestly, I will take the blame. that was a bad series, and that was my fault because I honestly didn't think that part through, and that is my bad. Would have the series changed if it was 1-2-3?
Probably not.
Absolutely. I disagree with you.
We didn't we like sweep them?
No, I think Toronto beat you.
Oh yeah, 3-1.
I think with a better mentality that if Toronto won the first game, they would have won, in my opinion, respectfully.
Okay.
But who knows? We'll move on. We'll lighten the mood up a little bit. Is the crew a brainwashing cult?
No.
Okay. Damn it. I thought it was.
Okay, but listen. I want to talk, or never mind, you're gonna talk about this later. We just keep going.
Who do you think the most underrated player is in the upcoming season?
I gotta say my boy Peach, you know,
Okay.
he's on my team. I gotta say that. After the season, do I think he'll be underrated? Hell no. I think he'll probably come around, my guess, anywhere. His ceiling is MVP, and his floor is like top 10.
That's a hot take.
That is
Okay.
a very hot take.
Who is the most underrated player that's not on your team? There should be one answer.
I know who you want me to say, but I don't think I'm gonna say it. You want me to say Crew?
Nope.
But I'm not gonna say Crew.
Not Crew.
I think I'm gonna go
It's not Crew.
with. I think I'm gonna go Drew.
That's
on
what
the
I'm
Boston
saying. I think
Red
it's Drew. The reason why I think it's Drew is because honestly, I don't even think people realize that he's in the league or in the same league as you.
Bulls.
Us
Like
now.
Ritas, I tried to listen. I tried to make a trade with Xanax. I told him I offered him the 10th pick in the draft, my second round for next year, and my third round this year for Drew. And he said no. All he did was complain. He was like, "No, give me the fucking first pick in the draft. Otherwise, I'm not doing no trade with you." I said, "Okay, then we're not doing any trade." He said, "No, give me the first pick."
Jesus. All right.
Ritos. Hold on. One last detail. When I was talking to Ritos, I was like, "Hey, how do you think trading for Drew is sound?" Because I like to talk to all my people, all my team members about like trades before I actually do them or offer them. And he said, "Yeah, I don't really hear much about it, and that's why he's my underrated pick. He's no one hears about it."
Let's see. I'm thinking. Who do you got to win the Rookie of the Year award? Beach is not eligible, so I think the
I'm
top
going Ritos.
the top contenders. I got two on my mind right now. Oh wait, no, because Harms is on the Rage now. So yeah, I think Ritos is. I think for both leagues, it's Ritos and Harms, at least for now. Those are the only two players that are known.
Listen, hot take here, but my fifth or my 10th pick in the draft, I think I have who it is, and I think he'll come right behind Ritos in second place.
Okay, good to know.
He's unknown. He's unknown right now, so I'm not gonna let you guys know who it is.
What if he gets picked? Would you be mad? I think you'd be mad.
I don't think I'd be mad because I kind of have a backup plan because you gotta have a backup plan with the draft, you know. Because but I don't think he will get taken. He's not very known. Doesn't really say anything. DM me a couple times about a little confusion he had, but besides that, I don't think anybody hears of him. So I think he won't. I think he'll be there at 10. I'm pretty 75% sure he'll be there at 10.
Okay. Real quick, we're about done. We're out of questions, but I'll go ahead and ask you something. Who do you think so we're in the American League, right? Who do you think in the National League is going to win the division?
Let's think. Parrots, Vipers. No, Vipers aren't winning.
The Cougars.
Cougars ain't winning. Golden Eyes. I think the Rage. I think I have my favorite's the Rage. Kind of old.
I said this in the last podcast, so I'll keep it a little simple. I think if Panda comes back healthy, and he told me he was gonna be back in 2 to 3 weeks.
Okay, so he might come back.
He might come back mid-season. If he comes back, perfectly fine, nothing bad, right? I think Baseball Star is definitely underrated as well. I think Baseball Star is one of the most underrated players of the league. I wouldn't say he is the most underrated player of the league, but I think he's one of them. Nobody talks about him at all. He didn't do that. I think he placed 6th or 7th in MVP voting last season. It's crazy, but I think because they have Canes too. A lot of people don't realize that they have Canes, and I don't know how good Logar is, so it just depends on what they do, right? But
here's my predictions. Finishing in last, we got Cougars. Finishing at 4th, we got Vipers.
Mm-hmm.
Finishing at 3rd, we got Boston. And finishing at 2nd, we got Winnipeg. And number 1's going to be the Rage.
Okay. What about the National League?
National League?
At number 5, oh wait, no, Boston's in the National League. What am I saying? At number 5, we're gonna have Boston. Number 4, we're gonna have. Hold on. Whoa, I'm tripping. At number 4, we're gonna have. At number 4, we're gonna have the Reapers. Actually, no. Number 5 is gonna be the Reapers.
No,
Number
dude, I
4.
wasn't gonna say anything because that was so funny. You put me above. I don't even have anybody on my team right now at the point of this recording.
Okay. Number 5 is your team.
Damn.
Number 4 is going to be. I'm gonna give it to the Rebels. Who else is there? Rebels or Mustangs?
I think the Mustangs are better than the Rebels, respectfully.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rebels at 4, Mustangs at 3, Pirates at 2, Gamblers at 1. But I'm saying this now, I think it's gonna be a different story in the playoffs.
I guess. I respect that you're humble enough to put the Gamblers above you. I respect that because I think that is true. Right now, I think that's true. Now, it depends. I'm gonna say sorry for cutting you off. It depends how Peach, JC, and Ritos play out. If they play out how I think they are gonna play out, except for I think Peach is gonna do good. I'm not sure about JC or Ritos. If they play out better than I think they're gonna play, you guys will be number 1. If they play how I expect them to play, you guys are going to be number 2, and it's just that's how it's gonna be.
Okay. I see that. I don't know if you heard this, but JC also beat Ish like 20 something to 17 or something.
Nice.
And Ish was like freaking going off. He was like, bro, fucking JC hit everything, bro. He's fucking insane now or something. I don't know. That might just be the crew A taking effect, but
it's a cult, I'm telling you. All right. You got anything else?
I thought we were gonna talk about rookie. Oh, we kind of did talk about rookies.
We did talk about rookies a little bit.
Well,
Anything else?
I think there is. I'm gonna talk about the rookies kind of just a little bit more.
Okay.
I think people underestimate the draft class. I mean, obviously, I don't think there's gonna be any players in the draft class who are gonna come in and be immediate all-stars, except for the 3 that are in that class.
I mean, shit. Look at. I mean, Ish and Crew came in and kicked ass.
That is true, but that was also that was the opening draft. Like, that was when everybody was in the draft.
Yeah, but still, it's still a point because they went 4th and 5th round.
Exactly.
There is a different universe where Ish and what's his face Crew were not drafted.
I remember. Well, Ish was one of the first people I scouted.
I know that you told me about that, and I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, in terms of, I wouldn't say luck. I think in terms of consistency, I think we will get 1 or 2 new all-stars, which is good. The game needs it.
I think one of them is going to be Ritos, and I think the other is going to be my unnamed rookie.
Okay. Is there anything else you got?
I think that is it. I just want to say that there is a new crew system on the way. It's going to be 4 pages still, but it's going to have some different aspects and some of the same aspects.
The Colt spreads.
So, for anybody who was on the original Pirates team, Damien, Lil Hollow.
Ooh, calling people out.
I'm not calling people out. I'm just saying for all those people
out. You calling people out.
I'm saying for all those people who originally listened to me read the crew way to them and did all the quizzes and stuff. If you were to come back on the Pirates, it would be different. Like you wouldn't like if you had to take the 3-question quiz again. It'd be different questions, and it wouldn't be about the same stuff that you listened about.
Okay.
I guess.
All right, guys. I think that is it for episode 2 of the official TBPL podcast. Notes. Gotta say, the Crewway is a cult. Don't listen to what Landon says. I will see you guys later.